Howdy guys, my name is Billy, aka TheReadingCowgirl, and welcome to the channel. At the start of 2025, I made a little bingo card on which I made a list of the 24 books/book series that I want to read this year. So far I've read 0 of them. So I thought it would be fun to actually show you all these books I want to read this year, and then at the end of the year I have a little recap to see if I actually managed to do that. Here is my 2025 book bingo. So the main reason I made the bingo card is the fact that I do not do TBRs anymore. I used to make them every single month, but they used to stress me out a lot because I would not read the books on the TBR and it would make me feel bad. And I didn't want that for 2025, so I think around October last year I just stopped making TBRs and just read what I wanted to read. It's like something I could hold on to. I made the bingo, and as you can see so far it's been going absolutely great. For the bingo I looked at all the books that I wanted to read in 2024 and books I've been really wanting to get into, which I didn't have the time for, and those I put on the card. You'll see that there is a lot of like Illumicrate and Afterlight books in them. I've had a subscription for quite a long time, but I've had this issue of me not reading the books, and for the money I pay every month, I just don't think that's okay. That's the reason I put a lot of those books on there as well. Further ado, here are all the books on the bingo card. Starting off with The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I really loved Yellowface, and I've been really dying to read this series. I just was not mentally stable enough to do so. I've been feeling really great as of late, so I really hope to dive into these series soon. With all the series, I'm only crossing them off if I read the entire series. Really stoked about these, and I cannot wait to read them. Got Killer, same thing, I also will read the sequel. Fiance's read these, and she really loved them. I think also we got this book signed when we met Hannah Kana. Yeah, and she signed it for the both of us. Which I thought was really cute. I've been really wanting to read these because Eva really liked them. Then I have got Slayer and also the sequel Gearbreakers. Or is this book 2? I don't know if this is book 2. Yeah, this is actually book 2. Here is book 1. I want to read both of these. My best friend really loved them, and I just really love sci-fi books. And I've been reading a bit more sci-fi, which is absolutely up my alley, so I'm very excited to get to these two as well. I have Bunny, which was actually on my 12 books by 12 friends list last year. I didn't read it. I just think this is probably like a really weird book. Well, I really like weird books. I think when I'm like in the need of like a palate cleanser after I read like some harder stuff like The Poppy War, I will probably get to this one. Onichidori Must Die. I've been loving Adiba Jagada's work. I think I've basically read all of her books except for this one. I also have For Eats and a Funeral still lying around though. I should mention that too. But I really love all of her work, so I'm very excited for this one as well. Damn, the letters are tiny though! Look at it! They're tiny! Yeah, I just flipped through and I saw the word Amsterdam. Now I'm even more excited. Anyway, I love books taking place in Ireland. So yeah, I am doing a reading challenge next week in which I'm going to read as much books as I possibly can. And I think I will read that one during that challenge. I'm a book buying man for quite some time, and this is actually the last book I bought before I went on it. I think I bought this one in November. Every time you hear that song, it just reminded me of Dolly Parton, and I think it's sapphic as well. And as a big Dolly Parton lover, it just sounded completely up my alley. And I will also probably read this one during my challenge. Again, R.F. Kuang, Babel. I am too intimidated to read this. I think of myself as a pretty smart person, undefeated in trivia. I am really good at knowledge games, and if I ever come to the point, rephrase it, because we're manifesting. When I come to the point, I am famous enough to join Dutch TV shows. I will slay at Slimste Mens. But I feel like I'm too dumb to read this. I studied history for 6 years. I know a lot of stuff, but this book scares me. Especially now with like seeing people making like books you need to read before you read Catabasis lists. It scares me. Like, should I read Dante's Inferno before I read that one? And what should I read before I read Babel? Because I want to be prepared. This book just scares me. So, I'll just probably put this one on the bottom of the pile because I do want to read it. And I think they're actually translating it into Dutch, which I think is ironic because I think the book is about translation being bad. We'll see. Maybe I'll read it in Dutch then. Maybe I shouldn't. I'm not Sure, yeah, but like my reading comprehension is better in Dutch, so maybe I should. I'm not sure yet. Maybe it will. This book makes me babble. You get it? Babble, babble. This one scares me. Scatter of Light. I really, really loved Last Night at Telegraph Club. I also really loved the little appendix it came with like historical facts, and as a history teacher, I really love those little things. So I'm very, very excited about this one. Books. I'm also very excited about book 2 and 3 in the Miss Meathap series. I have read book 1, thought that was an absolute blast. I just never got to the other two. And they're like standalones in the same world, so I don't really feel the need to like read them all in one go. But I just really, really like the first one, so I want to read the other two too. I think there might be a 4th book coming. Not really sure. There might be. Don't pin me on that. But I really like the covers, and Destiny was really enthusiastically telling me about these, so I bought all 3 of them. Yeah. Maybe I'll read them during my challenge as well, because they're not that long, and I think I'll just really entertain myself with them. And another book that I feel would just be like really, really entertaining is Apocalypse Cow. I bought this one because of the title. I am not ashamed to admit it. I saw this title, thought it was great, looked it up on the internet, and it's sapphic. Like, a sapphic cow book. That's like perfect for me. So, I am very excited to read this one. I just now noticed that there's like faces in the cover. Look. It's like, if you like cut that off, it's like faces instead of the ears of the cow. Or am I like pulling a mermaid goddess thing? They look like faces of ladies or people. I don't know. Anyway, it has cows in the title, and I'm really stoked about it. I also really want to read the Devonbot trilogy. I actually have all books and like the little River Silver book. I actually started this one. I started it on audiobook. And then I didn't continue it because the file wasn't correctly downloaded. So I could only select the first 20 minutes, and I just never continued. So I really want to read this one this year as well. I also have Not in Love by Ellie Hazelwood. I always really love Hazelwood's books. I really love The Love Hypothesis. I really like the other one too. Where's the title? Where is it? I have not read Love Theoretically, but the one with the girl in like the galaxy leggings, that one I've also read. It's like he's like holding her on the cover. Love on the Brain, I think that's the title. I currently cannot find the book. Love on the Brain, really like that one too. So I really want to read this one too. I also do own Love Theoretically, and I purchased the one that's not called Wet. Is it called Wet? It's about the sea swimming people. I don't remember the title. I will insert a picture right here. I ordered that yesterday because I randomly was given a book voucher. And I was like, well, let's just buy that one. I will probably read this one during a challenge because I really like reading Ellie Hazelwood books if I need like a palate cleanser. And they're like, I'm not ashamed to admit I like her books. I am really, really not. They're like so bad that they're good. I have the same thing with Hannah Grace. Like, was Icebreaker a bad book? Yes. Did I rate it 5 stars? Because I really, really enjoyed it. Also, yes. So I'm very excited for this one. And I also have The Secret History. Another book I feel like I am too stupid to read. It intimidates me. I bought it a couple of years ago because my sister-in-law was like on television talking about this book. I was like, oh, I have to support her, so I bought the book. I haven't read it. This one also intimidates me. Another book that intimidates me is Lord of the Rings. I love the movies. I have to rephrase that. I love Orlando Bloom in those movies. I am very confident in me being gay, but Orlando Bloom, man, whew, I've seen the extended versions multiple times just so I could watch Orlando Bloom. But I feel like I should also read the books. I want to be the type of person that can say that I have read Lord of the Rings. I have the same thing with the books Game of Thrones is based on, A Song of Ice and Fire. I have read the first book. I've actually read it multiple times. But I don't want to like finish it until like all the books are done. So I'm like waiting for George R. R. Martin to actually like finish them and hopefully not die before they're all finished. And then I will read all of them. But I want to be that type of nerd that's like, yes, I have read Lord of the Rings and I have read A Song of Ice and Fire. So yeah, this will hopefully be the year of me actually reading Lord of the Rings. Another book I am a bit nervous about is Bright by Ellie Hazelwood. I don't read like a lot of like, romances about vampires or like werewolves, the book stack just toppled over, by the way. That's what you just heard. I have never read Twilight. I do own the books, but I've never read it. It never really gripped me. Like, whenever I'm playing Baldur's Gate, I do not like Astarion, and I'm very sorry to say this. I just don't like him. I don't like vampires. They scare me. So I'm a bit scared to read this one too. I did look up what notching was because people were talking about it, and my ecology brain, because I do have a degree in ecology as well, was like, oh, it's just that. Like, I was not surprised by it, so like the smut is like not holding me back. It's the, I don't really read books about vampires and werewolves. So that scares me a bit. I am excited though, because it's Ellie Hazelwood. I love her. Then I have As Long as Lemon Tree Grows. This is actually the Dutch translation. I met the author and she signed the book. And whenever I buy a book and I get the author to sign it, it makes me feel bad if I have not read it yet. And it's been, I think, almost 2 years and still have not read it. So this should be the year. But this is one of these books I feel like I should be a bit more mentally stable for. Am I there yet? Probably not really sure. So this is like also on the bottom of the pile, but I really, really, really want to read it. Then I have The Kiss Countdown in a beautiful Afterlight edition. This was actually my first Afterlight book. It really sounded interesting because it's about like forced proximity and there's like a timeline because he's going to like Mars. Is he going to Mars? Oh my god, it's fake dating as well. Yeah. Where is he going? He's going into space. I don't know where. Space is big. But like, it sounded really cool. Like, if this would be currently in the Afterlight, I would not skip it. And I'm very picky about Afterlight. And I want to read this one really, really bad because it just sounds really cute and it's fake dating. I just found out. But it's one of my favorite tropes, so I cannot wait. Then I have Warm Dark Window. This is actually the Dutch edition. Very beautiful with sprayed edges. I ordered the second book in this edition as well. Nora, who I really, really love, is very excited about these books. She keeps talking about them. So I feel like I should read them. They sound really cool, and it's like a bit longer than one book. I really just, the ologies are like straight up my alley because you get a bit more in the world, but not too long. I really do not like book series that are like 5 or 6 books long, except Percy Jackson, of course. But I really love the ologies, so I'm very excited about this. Then a book I feel like I might be too dumb for, but I also feel like I should understand, which is Alcibiades. This is a Dutch book. It's really, really big, and it's about Alcibiades. I know they pronounce his name differently in other stuff, but I say Alcibiades. He's one of my favorite historical figures. I always call him the OG fuckboy. And this is like his entire history. I probably will listen to the audiobook. The audiobook is like 27 hours. So even if I like read it quicker, it's gonna take me so long. But I just really want to read this. I bought this after surviving my first week of teaching, as a gift for myself. I have not read it yet. I have been teaching for quite a bit now, so I feel like I should read it. But I'm like intimidated by it. That's like a common theme. I am intimidated by a lot of books, but I do want to read them, but I do not want to feel stupid because I think of myself as quite a smart person and I will be kicked off my high horse the moment I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Then I have The Last Hour Between Worlds. This is a case of I need to read my Lumacrae books. And this one is sapphic. And I think it's really, really pretty. And I think it's about time travel. And I think that's very interesting. Voyage of the Damned. It's also queer. It's also about Lumacrae. I am very excited about this one. I think this was in January of last year. And I was so excited about it. And it was like on my TBR for months. And I never read it. It looks really cool. And it's like about a boat. And a murder on a boat. Which is like a proximity and you don't know who you can trust. It gives me like Clue vibes. I love Clue, the board game. I am rambling again. I'm just very stoked about this. Phantom Fog by Eliza Chan. I was supposed to read this in like January or December because it's like a duology and Lumacrae came out with the second book in the series in this beautiful edition as well. And I was like, oh, I can buy it if I read this the first one, and then there was not a correct sentence. I can buy it if I read the first one. And then I bought it, and I didn't read the first one. Then I have Until We Shatter. Once again, it's gay, it's from Lumacrae. I just really, really need to read it this year. Finally, The Principle of Moments. Say it with me. It's queer, it's from Lumacrae. I need to read it. I think that was just the video. Thank you for watching and being here with me in my chaotic brain. I'll see you guys next week. Oh, I should talk about the challenge. Yes. I do a reading challenge every once in a while where I read like a really weird amount of books in like 7 days. I once read like 15, 24, I think one point I read 31 books in a week. I'm doing it again next week. So like not upcoming week, but the week after, because I have like holiday. And I'm gonna read just as much. I didn't put like a set goal. And I will vlog everything, and I'm very stoked about it. Yeah, so that was basically the video. I'm out of breath. I'm gonna drink some water and cue the outro, I guess.